Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Blockstern Show. Um, I was just cleaning up my Idol Girls autograph collection, which includes 70 cards, and I really wanted to make another video. So I thought to myself, what type of video should I make? So I came up with two ideas. Number one, I wanted to share my university merchandise or souvenirs collection, which is ginormous. Or I can make another IELTS themed video, given that the last IELTS video where I spoke about how in the world I got an 8.0 literally went up in views and likes. It literally skyrocketed. So why not I just make a video again, make like explain how a DSE taker can expect if they want to take IELTS. Given that I'm also expected by like thousands to take the DSE in 2026. As a future DSE takers and an IELTS taker's perspective, I'm going to explain in this video what you can expect if you're a DSE taker taking IELTS. So I'm going to start with speaking. There are 3 parts in the speaking examination. So we're going to start with part 1. Part 1, you can consider this a DSE Part B individual response. The examiner is going to tell you, come up with a random topic which you have no idea what it is. For example, the examiner will say, let's talk about your hometown. What makes your hometown special? And then you have to come up with a 45-second response, maybe 45 seconds to 1 minute. It's just like individual response or IR in the DSE. And yeah, that's pretty much it. You'll probably repeat the same process like 3 to 5 times, maybe 5. And then once the examiner asks you enough questions, they might switch to another topic or just continue with part 2. So part 2, if you remember what your junior secondary, like Form 1, 2, 3 exams, internal examinations feel like, this is what you're actually doing in the IELTS. Part 2 is an individual presentation. You'll be given a topic. For example, from my own examination, I was given like 1 minute to prepare, to talk about a place I visit in the countryside, and they'll try and guide you to answering the presentation by giving you like a few ideas, such as why did you go there, when did you get there, and how did you actually feel, and then you have to come up with the ideas. But yeah, so most of you probably had this part in Form 1, 2, 3, so they also have it in IELTS. And part 3 is just based on part 2. It's also DSE Part B. Not really much difference from part 1 because it's still individual response. Because of course, in IELTS, you're having a one-on-one examination. As in DSE, you're having the examination with 3 to 4 candidates. In IELTS, you're just taking it alone. Besides that, part 3 is there's not much difference, but the topic of part 3 will be going on from part 2. For example, if you have like give a place to talk about the countryside, a place to visit it in the countryside, the questions will probably be about that too. Let's move on to reading. Moving on to IELTS reading, I also like to mention about the internal examinations I currently have at school. I did compare my internal examinations, Part B2, reading, to IELTS, and I want to say that the length of the passage is about the same. And the questions are pretty much the same, but the internal examinations could have more questions, maybe, in one part. The thing is, in IELTS, you have to do the same Part B2 in DSE 3 times. But there's not many questions in each part. In IELTS, there's like 13 to 14, and the entire examination has 40 questions. While in DSE and internal examinations, it will vary. So what you can expect in reading, which is if you're a DSE taker, you can expect the DSE, the IELTS reading you can expect the IELTS reading passages to be just like DSE Part B2. So, yeah, you could probably do the same to internal examinations if you're being forced to do B2, just like I'm doing. I would take that as IELTS and just go for it. I took this method, and my grades went up compared to last time. And during my IELTS reading examination, I did have quite a hard time reading the passage. And if you're having... And you definitely have to use the highlighter they provide. And of course, you have to spend some time reading the entire passage and answer just like the DSE. But besides that, I have not much to say. Let's go to writing. IELTS writing. Okay. Come on, Ed. So let's start with part 1. There are 2 parts in both the DSE and IELTS. Which is part A. In the DSE, you get a similar type of writing, just like part B and part 2 of IELTS. But in part 1 of IELTS, it's basically a data response question. So you'll be given like a graph or something like that. You have to like analyze it, talk about how it goes up and down, it's up and down. You could expect it to be like citizenship and social development, but in English. It really has a feeling of being citizenship and social development material, but depending on what it is. And I want to talk about part 2 as well. It's basically part B. It's basically DSE part B, but you don't have a choice to answer which question. In the DSE part B, you will have like 4 to 8 questions to pick, but in IELTS, there's no choice. You go with the question you thought was sent to you. This was the question I had in this year. You could take a look. I think I've already analyzed that in a similar video I made. But I would recommend you just ignore the word count requirement, like 250, and go for like 500 and such if you want to get a higher grade. Just like my teacher said, if you want a higher rank and higher scoring DSE content, you have to write more. I assume that you should also do the same, because if you write 250 to 300 words, that's not enough. It's not enough for the DSE either. You don't want to like do that in an international examination as well. And of course, vocabulary and language patterns are also important in the IELTS. You might want to focus on that too. Moving on to listening. IELTS listening. Okay. So there's literally only like DSE Part A. You can ignore DSE Part B, 1B, 2 in IELTS. Because it's just listening. There's no integrated skills. Yeah, and in IELTS there's like four parts of listening. Each part has like 10 questions. And part 1 and 2 are just as easy as DSE, and then part 3 and 4 get significantly harder. A little harder. From my own experience, I didn't get like 1 to 2 questions. So that is why I got an 8.5 in the IELTS. However, there's not really much to say about the IELTS listening, although you have to literally be focused because you don't want to lose marks in the international examination, just like both in IELTS and DSE. And I think that's pretty much it for the video. I do understand that there's not many tips covered in this video, but if you really want to ask about the questions, just go ahead and comment. When the comments are open, I will answer your question as long as it's family friendly and respectful or anything that is appropriate. So thank you for watching the Blockster Show, and there you go. See you all next time.